Let's talk about the power nap. For a long, long time, it's been seen as, a luxury, or maybe even a sign that you're just being lazy. But what if I told you that a short, strategic nap is actually one of the most powerful brain boosters you can possibly use? We're about to dive into the science that turns napping from this guilty pleasure into a secret weapon for your mind.
Oh, you know the feeling. We've all been there, right? It's after lunch, your energy just absolutely tanks, your focus is all over the place, and the rest of your workday feels like you're trying to climb a mountain. This isn't just in your head. That afternoon slump is a totally real biological thing, a natural dip in our body's daily rhythm. So you try to power through. Maybe you grab another coffee, but let's be honest, it feels like a Band-Aid at best. Your brain just feels like mush, your memory's full, and thinking of a creative solution? Forget about it. And that's the exact moment right there in that mental fog that a power nap becomes your superpower. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with that 2 p.m. wall we all know and hate and introduce the power nap as the solution. Then we'll actually look inside a napping brain to see what's going on. After that, it's all practical. The perfect nap playbook, how to avoid that awful grogginess trap, and finally, we'll get some inspiration from some of history's greatest nappers. Okay, so first things first, let's completely reframe this. Forget any idea you have that napping is for the lazy. A power nap isn't about escaping your day. It's about actively making it better. The science is super clear on this. A short, structured nap is a legit tool for boosting your brain power, your memory, and your focus. And this isn't some new agey wellness fad. The term itself actually has some serious academic cred. It was a social psychologist at Cornell, James Moss, who came up with the name power nap. And he used it to describe a very specific thing. A short nap, we're talking 20 minutes or less, that's designed to wake you up feeling refreshed, without that horrible post-nap brain fog. So what's the magic here? What is actually happening inside your brain during those few minutes of shut-eye that makes such a huge difference? Well, it turns out it's this really fascinating process of your brain basically hitting a reset button, rebalancing chemicals, and filing away memories. The benefits are actually pretty incredible. A good nap helps the hippocampus, that's your brain's memory center, to sort and store information. It also restores key brain chemicals that you need for focus, it lowers your stress hormones, and, this is the really cool part, it helps your brain make connections between ideas that didn't seem related before. In fact, researchers have pinpointed a kind of magic window for having those big aha moments. It's a stage of sleep called N2. During this light sleep phase, your brain becomes more flexible, more open to new ideas. It's basically prepping itself for a breakthrough. And get this, the results from studies are just stunning. In one experiment, people were given a tricky task that had a hidden shortcut. Of the people who took a nap and reached that N2 sleep stage, a whopping 85.7% figured out the shortcut right after waking up. That's a massive, massive jump in creative problem solving. All right, so the science is solid, right? But how do we actually do this correctly? How do we get all those amazing benefits without messing it up? Let's build the perfect nap playbook. So it turns out not all naps are created equal. Far from it. A super quick cat nap, under 10 minutes, gives you a little jolt, kind of like a shot of espresso. The real sweet spot, though, is the 15 to 20-minute power nap. But you've got to be careful. Venture into the 30 to 60-minute zone, and you hit what I call the valley of death. That's when you wake up super groggy because your brain thought it was in for the long haul. Now, for the deep, creative stuff, a full 90-minute cycle is what you're after. So to set yourself up for success, there are really just 3 simple rules. First, timing is everything. Aim for that 1 to 3 p.m. window when your body's energy is naturally dipping anyway. Second, create a nap cave. Find a spot that's quiet, cool, and dark. And third, and this is the most important one, set an alarm. You have to commit to the time. That's how you get all the good stuff without falling into that grogginess trap. Okay, you ready to level up your nap game? Try the Nappuccino. Now I know it sounds totally backwards, but hear me out. You drink a cup of coffee right before a 20-minute power nap. Here's the genius of it. The nap helps clear out the sleepy chemicals in your brain, and the caffeine takes about 20 minutes to fully kick in, so you wake up just as that caffeine hits your system. It is an unbelievably powerful combo for alertness. Okay, so we've talked about all the good stuff, but we have to talk about the dark side of napping. There's a real risk if you get this wrong. We've mentioned this grogginess trap, but it's so important that we really need to look at it head-on. The scientific name for it is sleep inertia. Sleep inertia. You know that feeling when you wake up and you're actually more tired? You feel foggy, disoriented, you can't think straight. Your reaction time, your decision making, it's all way worse than before you went to sleep. That's sleep inertia, and it happens when you get yanked out of a really deep stage of sleep.
And this isn't just about feeling a bit off for a few minutes. In high-stakes situations, the consequences can be absolutely catastrophic. In 2010, an Air India flight crashed, killing 158 people. The investigation found that the pilot had made critical errors because he was suffering from sleep inertia after waking up from a nap. It's a really sobering reminder of why you have to get your napping right. So that's pretty scary, right? The good news is avoiding this trap is actually really simple. The number one rule, keep your naps short, under 25 minutes. That way you don't even enter deep sleep. If you absolutely need a longer, full-cycle nap, just make sure you give yourself a 20-minute buffer to wake up properly before you do anything important. And of course, that Nappuccino we talked about is a fantastic tool to help fight off the fog. Okay, let's wrap this up on a really inspiring note. Because long before scientists had the tools to explain why it worked, some of the most brilliant thinkers in history just knew that napping was their secret weapon.
I mean, check out this lineup. Leonardo da Vinci apparently took a 20-minute nap every few hours to get more creative time. Thomas Edison would nap while holding steel balls, so when he fell asleep, they'd drop and wake him up right at that perfect moment of inspiration. Churchill swore his daily nap gave him the energy to lead Britain through World War II, and Einstein, he slept 10 hours a night and still took regular naps.
And look, this isn't just some quirky historical fact. Today, napping is serious business in the most demanding jobs you can imagine. We're talking airline pilots, NASA astronauts. For them, strategic rest is literally built into the rules to make sure they're at the top of their game when it matters most.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that we need to change how we think about napping. It isn't a sign of weakness. It's not about avoiding your work. It is a strategic, powerful tool to make you smarter, more creative, and more resilient. It's the definition of working smarter, not just harder.
Which really just leaves one final question. And this one is for you. You now have the science, you have the playbook for the perfect power nap. So the next time you feel that 2 p.m. wall coming, what are you going to do? How are you going to choose to invest your next 20 minutes?